Here's a little heads up. When the rains and wind come in the middle of the night, take your canopy down, or else you're going to have to fix it.
It gave way right here. This support rod. There it is on the other end of the camera. Got this up on a ladder now, scaffold mode, and beginning to think we might have been really fortunate here. Canvas isn't damaged, basically broke away. So with this retracted, we've got it back in place. What we're really going to have to examine is what's going on inside there, and how we can go about reattaching this bracket. The lag screws on this side, much rustier.
So just for comparison purposes, I took a look at the other arm, the lag screws holding that bracket on the other side. It's not rusty. I just want to make sure, this turns in properly tight, and it does. This one's fine. So I opened up the belly, underbelly, over by this area where the bracket was, and here's what we have. Just rotten. So we're going to have to see what the extent of this is and figure out a way to repair it.
Okay, so here's the extent of it. This corner basically has to be repaired. For starters, I cleaned this all out. I'm going to have to cut off this screw here that used to go down all the way through this corner, this bottom strip, this 1 by 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 square piece. We're basically going to fill this all in here and put a single piece of 2 by 6 in here. For now, though, I'm just going to cut the rest of these off, these staples and such off of here, so we can get a flat surface to build on. We're going to make a pattern, and what I've done is I've cut a strip of poster board here, and this is the way I always do it. I'll just cut it in half, cut a couple pieces, and then we'll just, it's going to be hard to show this underneath, but I'm going to slide this, and it'll actually fill the gap, and then I'll put a piece of tape on it, and it'll be exactly the right size. So our process then is just continuing to build this up. We have to go around a little obstacle here, this board. And when this is done, we should have a piece cut out that'll fit in here. Expect very good the very first time. Okay, so here's our pattern that we made from underneath. And here's the piece of wood we cut. Again, I went with a 2 by 6 and cut it out. Have an extra inch over on this side, the more the better. Now we're going to try to fit this. Okay, so we have some wood filler. We're going to fill in the rotted area with that. Okay, so we're applying a thinner layer. I'm holding my hand under it because it tends to drop. I'd rather use it, rather not have it all over the ground. You get the idea. So we're putting in 2 or 3 layers of wood filler here, and well, it's still wet. Then we're going to put our specially formed replacement block in here, which I've painted since I had some time while the wood filler's set up, just to give it a little extra protection against the elements here, against rotting. Okay, we've been busy with this filler. We've got it in there pretty good now. Kind of overfilled it a little bit, so when we put our board in, it's going to squeeze down on it and kind of fill the gaps a little bit. Okay, now this fits in here pretty darn good, although I'm going to put something on here to hold it up a little bit till I can start screwing it down. And we're going to toenail this from the side. I'm going to look into what I can do from the top as well. Squeezing this now to get the filler kind of in contact with our board a little bit. Maybe I'll stick a jack under here too for a while to hold it. Okay, there's our use of a jack. I want this board to stay nice and flush. You know, while this hardens. Okay, I'm going to drill a pilot hole here. And there's a spot in this particular area. There happens to be a it's good yet, the underlayment. So I'm going to get at least a few of these in some solid good pieces before I do some toenailing. I'm going to toenail in from the side here. Okay, so here we are. We've toe-nailed about 4 screws in here, 3-inch long screws, and then put some straight in, and they're long enough to actually reach the subfloor, the main floor, I should say. So here's a good opportunity to fill in some voids. Okay, we've got our insulation in there, we've cut it off. Next we're going to be taping this back together here. And what I'm using, okay, so what we're going to use to fix this, repair this cutout in the belly board underneath is a spray adhesive. I'll spray this down. And I've got some Gorilla tape here, some pretty sticky tape. I found that this works. So what I'll do first is just get a piece to length here and spray the adhesive on it, and also spray the adhesive on the underside of the belly board, and that'll make a permanent, make it stick permanently. So we spray on our tape, and we'll also go up underneath here, spray it on the area we're going to apply it to. So then after our wait time has gone by, we just press this down, and it is nice. It'll stick in there good. Okay, so I'm using the existing opening here. Okay, and then we can drill the other one. Alright, I've got them both in there now. Nicely secured. Okay, get some Dicor lap sealant. Now I'm going to apply a generous amount of that. That should be good. Okay, we're all done. Got some solid material back here now to hold on to these lag screws for this support arm for the canopy. What happened, I think, was that the lap sealant deteriorated over time, and this also is an area where it's right near a rain gutter, so it just got wet in there and stayed wet and rotted over time. I checked out the rest of the camper, and you'll be happy to know that the rest of it is sound underneath. So we can thank our storm for tipping us off that we had a problem here. Otherwise, I don't know when I would have known. It was actually kind of a fortunate incident, actually. So thanks for watching.